Garbage is now outside.
Those look pretty damn good. Jules is doing a great job.
Julie, this is David Wright on these guys that hang out in Dunkin' Donuts with like his grandfather, and he filmed it all.
He filmed that all on that? Really?
Yeah, it came out really good. Like the quality of these cameras are
I
excellent.
just bought, that's a 3cc.
Communications, brand new, and the state has finally given us approval, and we're very happy about it. And really what I want to do is thank some people tonight. First of all, Maria, and where's Michelle? And Michelle. Dr. Luskay, Dr. Pulaski, they really put all of this together. And it goes without saying, although she couldn't be with us tonight, that nothing in the department happens without Maria Gregorio, who's our program coordinator, and everyone can attest to that. I also really want to say a special thanks to our dean, Dr. Denta Gottlieb, who's been with us a year and a half, and in that year and a half, we owe her a real debt. Thank you. And I want to say special thanks also to two persons who are really instrumental, and we also need to say thanks to them. Steve Gold, where's Steve? Steve is all the way in the back. Steve made it possible for us to secure some digital equipment that we badly needed, and we really owe him a debt. And the other person is Joanne Lamana. Is Joanne here? Joanne, for 20 years, has given us wonderful service on all of our equipment. I just want to say thanks to her. She owns Cousins Electronics down here in Pleasantville. And so, really, thank you for your interest. It's really a gratifying thing to see so many people turning up here. And I hope that it's a worthwhile evening for students. And thanks to all of those professionals who managed to make it here tonight. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce a new addition to our department. Dr. Michelle Pulaski comes to us from the university.
And staff for making me feel so welcome here at PACE, my first almost 2 months here. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the field of communication looks like for all of our majors out there. The number of students studying communications in college is at its highest level since 1991. And your career options with a communications degree are many and varied. Are entering a fluid job market where talent, tenacity, timing, and strategic self-promotion are highly valued by industry recruiters. The communications industry grows and changes so quickly that many of the careers we have today did not exist 5 years ago. According to the U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Outlook Handbook, jobs in the communications field will increase between 21 and 35% by 2008. Occupations including editors, advertising executives, marketing analysts, public relations managers, and film producers compiled a list of the 20 hottest job tracks, including occupations like crisis management, publicist, human resource training specialist, internet executive, and marketing analyst. All 20 job tracks require excellent communication skills. In fact, the U.S. Department of Labor has a listing of the most valuable job skills needed for the future, and communication skills top the list. In looking through any Sunday New York Times Help Wanted section, you can see how important communication skills are. So the jobs are out there. In order to get them, you need to continue to develop your communication skills by continuing to study hard, by using PACE's Cooperative Education and Career Services Office, seeing your advisor about securing internships, and attending networking events like these. Good luck, and thanks for coming.
Privilege of presenting a very, very good friend of mine. Alan Sklar, who is a professional actor narrator, has agreed to share some of his networking tips with you this evening. Alan, you see, is the king of networking. The ITVA crowd, my friends, have coined the phrase for Alan, "You've been Sklar'd." Once you've met Alan, you know that you've hired him, because Alan will network with you, meet you, and schmooze you until you hire him, and he is wonderful. You will certainly recognize his face, if not his voice, as one of the busiest professionals in our area, Alan Sklar.
Work is hard and the tips are lousy. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to be introducing people tonight. The people who are wearing the white badges, because they have achieved a status in life. They are somebody. But you people with the red and white thing, all you are is full of a little training and a lot of hope. And I would suggest to you that hope puts you into a very passive mode. Hoping nothing's going to happen. You have to make it happen. You have to take responsibility for your own life, creating your own wealth, your own careers. One of the ways of doing that is having goals. Without goals, you just drift from job to job. There's no path. Werner Erhard was a teacher of mine. He started the EST training. He talked about casting out, the image of casting out with a fishing line into your goal, which you see down the road 10, 15 years ahead of you, where you want to be, and hooking it in. And then, for the next 10 or 15 years, you just keep reeling it in, reeling it in. Now, you might go sideways because you get sick and go to the hospital for a week. Nothing happens. You come back again. Keep reeling in all your life till you get to the goal. I think that we should teach goal setting in high schools and colleges as mandatory courses. Now, am I introducing people?
You are allowed to, are you going to do the
I'll tell you a few things, Maria, otherwise I can snap.
you know what?
I'll tell you.
No, I don't raise you.
She wants to raise me.
Really? Go ahead, better.
I studied. I am a world-class schmoozer and a network. I'm always interested in meeting people.
If you're not working, you're...
When you're not working, I learned you're networking. And for me, that's very easy because I'm a workaholic. I like to work all the time. My wife says, "Hey, how about having a marriage?" I say, "I'll be there in a minute." One more phone call to make. I meet people on the Metro North. I'm meeting new people. One of the things that facilitates that at a group meeting like this, which is another thing that Werner Erhard said, put yourself into winning environments. Think about that. Let that resonate in you. Never forget it. All your life and all your work, always put yourself into winning environments. This is a winning environment here tonight, rather than being in the Irish pub down the street. This is a winning environment. The more you put yourself into winning environments, I learned early when I need producers. I'm a vendor for producers, video producers. If they all go drink in that bar, that's where I'm going to do my drinking. I'm not going to go to the bar where my friends are or my father owns a bar. Put yourself into winning environments. Another thing I learned from Phil Stella, who's a wonderful teacher of networking techniques. He said, you always wear your identification tag high up on your right shoulder. Most people are righties, and it's very easy and gracious for them to look at that and nowhere else on the body, which could be embarrassing at moments, looking right there and then right to the face. So it's John Jones. Oh, hi, John. How are you? It's fast. It's easy. You're facilitating the relationship development. Instead of, I've seen young women at ITVA parties that have the thing clipped onto their bag and they're holding it down here. Why? Because they don't want to wear something like that. All right, because it's not productive for a profession. I'm telling you, it really is a very, very good thing to do. Another thing she wants me to tell you, Maria wants me to tell you, is to, I would never give my business card to anybody. I ask them for a business card. First I ask them what they do. Tell me about it. And it's good to ask open-ended questions, not questions that can be answered with a yes or a no. You want them to talk. A salesman wants to uncover the customer's needs. So you ask them about their work, and they tell you. And you're making notes like crazy. But then you ask them for their card. And then I send them some of my stuff, if they do use people like me, which of course I ask eventually. You can't hound people. Hounding people is not a very productive strategy. It can be counterproductive. Pleasantly persistent, another thing. Remember that all your life. Pleasantly persistent. I was in the paint business. I was a distributor. It took me 13 calls on a hardware lumber yard down on 95th Street and 2nd Avenue with my salesman to open that account up. 13 calls. We got kicked out 12 times. On the 13th time, we made a small sale, and then we just sold them every week thereafter. My salesman went in and wrote an order. We stuck to it, and my salesman was ready to give up after the 4th call. He said, screw this guy. I said, no, Ralph. That's the fun of it. You gotta stay with it. If the New York Times was easy, it wouldn't be any fun. So, because I saw it, I just wanted it. It was play. It was sport. Just wanted it. I wanted it. A lot of fun. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's good.
I would have no one else to tell you.
You're good.
Except that there's another concept, a quick thing to throw in, and that is the concept of being organized for success. Organized for success. What does that mean? That means, for me, it means I have business cards, I have a pager, I have 9x12 envelopes, I have headshots, I've got resumes, I've got a personal wardrobe which fits my work, which is a spokesman. I've got a cell phone, I've got an email address with lots of resumes, I've got a fax machine, and I've got a website. All of these things make in one little office in my house. They make me powerful because I'm organized. I go boom, 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 mail it to him that afternoon. The next morning he gets it. I just was on the phone with him yesterday, and he gets it. And then a few days later, a follow-up phone call. Did you get it? Did you get a chance to look over the material? Follow up, stick to it. That's enough talk. Now I'm going to introduce someone else who is somebody. A real serious person, not some student. And his name is John Blankley. John is a colleague of mine.
Sure, I get the word.
John will tell you about himself. I will not say anything, except that he likes to stay up late every night, drinking whiskey, chasing women, and singing songs.
Surely Alan's talking about my brother and not me. But thanks anyway. One question for everybody here. How many people here want a job?
No.
Oh, about a third of them do. You'll get it. You'll get it. As Alan said, my name is John Blankley, and I have 2 jobs. I created the video operation, now called Media Services. I spin at Metro North 18 years ago. We do virtually every type of video you can imagine, or we have done it, from interactive, starting back in the days of Laserdisc, to documentary work, drama, market releases. They all know what that means.
They sure do.
Yes, they do. They better. We started out as a very lean operation, while a lot of other corporations were gearing up in the broadcast style of television. Most of the people working for me knew how to do at least 3 or 4 different types of craft work, be it editing, writing, camera work. This gave us an advantage that we could be flexible with our work. And we were. Myself, I started as a writer, became a cameraman, an editor, a director, learned the crafts that I'd be supervising later on. I am also the president of John Galt Productions. I do commercial work and and sports. And I've been doing that for not as long, only about 12 years, 12, 14 years. Probably the most important thing I can say about this type of work is that the traditional lines of disciplines have evaporated, and we're creating new ones every day. Maria mentioned the International Television Association, which for many years was considered non-broadcast. Well, probably in the New York chapter, I'd say a third to maybe half the members are doing at least some broadcast every week in one way or another. With the advent of multimedia and the replacement of laserdiscs with other forms, it's even getting more profound. And I would say to the people out there today, I would say to you as a group, don't be limited by your definitions, because you'll be creating the new definitions in the future. Thanks.
Thank you. Tony.
Tony Quaranti works in Armonk. It took 3.5 minutes to get here.
Thank you.
My question is, how many people want to go to that Irish bar that Alan was talking about? I'm an independent representative for a company called Cine Magnetics, Video and Digital Laboratories. We're over in Armonk, New York, and we are a full-service video and CD and DVD duplication and distribution company. Now, what does that mean? Guys like John Blankley, Dave Driscoll, who you'll meet in a little while, who works for Con Edison, produce programs, send their masters up to a company like ours, and we mass produce video cassettes and CDs and get them out into the marketplace, package them up, shrink wrap them. So when you go to the Blockbusters of the world and you're shrinking, undoing the shrink wrap to your CDs, that's the type of stuff we're doing. I got cut fingers to try to open my CDs at the plant. So I agree with everything Alan said. I'm probably one of the youngest, or the youngest, representing the ITVA here. So I don't talk to them. But I agree with everything he's saying. Stay positive, hustle from now until years from now. This is the toughest parts of your guys' lives. You got to get out there and hustle. There's easy roads, there's high roads, but work hard and just stay focused. There's a lot of roads to travel now. I mean, years ago, when I first joined Cine, the only means of communication was sending a video cassette to somebody or sending an audio cassette to somebody, and that was it. One of the gentlemen here, I think it was your boss, remembers our company when our company was doing film, when film was the only thing to send out to people. Now you've got a multitude of avenues to travel to communicate with people. Video cassettes, audio cassettes, the web, DVD, CD-ROMs, so there's a lot of things out there for everybody. Continue to work hard, stay focused, and like Alan said, stay with the positive crowd. You might have to make some decisions that aren't popular with your friends because it might not be the right thing for you at that particular time. So that's my advice. If anybody needs any videos, CDs, I've got some literature. If anyone wants anything, I've got my business cards and some handouts and some litter openers and some tchotchkes and some other things.
Thank you. Joy?
Thanks, Tony. A management consultant friend of mine told me that you must work at something that you love. You must work. The only way to live your life, you got to work at what you love doing, and then you will rise to the top. You will be doing it on Christmas Day and Saturday nights and Sunday mornings. You will not want to go away on weekends. You will love your work. And I thought that was wonderful advice. It's haunted me for 30 years. And I'm in work now that I absolutely love, and I'd be happy to work on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. I'm going to introduce Joy Primavera. Joy's father invented Primavera sauce. Pasta Primavera, she gets 25 cents every time you order.
I can tell you a lot about Merrill Lynch. Basically, the most important thing, I'm someone that you'd send your resume to, because I'm the person that hires all the freelancers, all the interns, you name it, I hire. But let me tell you a little bit about Merrill Lynch. It's a financial services firm. I'm sure you all know. Biggest, the bald, new commercial. Basically, our video department probably started at the same time as Yep, you got it.
Good old Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan, he just left, but I'll tell you that story later. Basically, we do everything, from training videos to marketing videos to live broadcasts. We've downlinked satellite program to over 800 sites, or 800 to 1,000 sites. This morning we did a live broadcast with our CEO. It went to Tokyo, Japan, Madrid, you name it, all over the world. We're into webcasting, streaming audio, live streaming as well as video on demand. We do basically whatever our company needs to stay on the cutting edge. The thing that I'd like to mention is that, yes, I'm the person who hires the freelancers. So I will book freelancers, the editors, the audio mixers, the Chiron artists, you name it, not so much the producers, but I'll find the PAs, the production assistants that help the producers. You'll be amazed what you can do in a good environment. I have about 5 or 6 people that started about a year ago last month, some of the PACE graduates, and they're already editing. They're doing really good PA work. And I have business cards and stuff like that. If anybody wants to perhaps do a little tour or something like that, maybe I can arrange something. If you're interested, stop by and see me.
Tell me, MC. David Driscoll. David Driscoll's from Con Edison, the manager of the video unit there, and Maria's ex-boss before she left.
He wasn't.
He wasn't? No. Oh, he was much more powerful executive than you are. All right, David Driscoll.
Thank you. Con Edison's video department, Visual Communications is its formal name. We produce video programs for all departments within Con Edison, safety programs, training programs, instructional tapes. We do corporate magazine programs within the company as well. I started out completely in another field of undergraduate study. I was in political science, which of course naturally led me to radio, which of course naturally led me to video. But all along those steps, stories to talk to, and radio taught me punctuality, timeliness, making sure you get things done in an accurate and on-time fashion. And video, I kind of learned as I went along, and Con Edison was a very forgiving company to allow me to learn my way when I had no background in the field. Paid for my graduate degree, my master's at Fordham, and got better and better at it, and more people that we work with from different departments, they say, you have a fun job. And for a while I would just like, yeah, sure, you think so. But it is a fun job. It's a fun thing to enjoy. It's something different every day. And the way I basically see it is you can just, now we're streaming our magazine program on our internet site at Con Edison. Tony did a job for us where we duplicated a videotape onto a DVD because our law department wanted to show very specific elements of a video on a DVD in a courtroom. And it's resources that we hired Alan to do a very prominent videotape for us that involved our divestiture and sale of our power plants. I think it was a bit of a hit, Alan. We made $1.6 billion off the sale. So part of that is Alan's fine efforts, but it was because I knew Alan from the ITVA. I needed a voiceover person who I could count on, was local. We had to do, how many changes did we have?
6 or 7.
The law department kept saying, no, it's not that. We have to change the wording. Alan would come in on the train, go in the booth, record the changes, and we had our program, and it was a success, and the client was happy, and that's the bottom line. You want to make sure that the client is happy.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a recent grad with COM in 1999, and I'm fairly new to the field, but my message to you is don't discount nonprofit organizations. That's where I work right now. It's like working in a small business where you could get your hands on just about anything that needs to get done. We're a 3-person department. We are responsible for every piece of communication that comes out of our department, and I've been exposed to all kinds of media relations, which would be press releases, news releases, pitches, so forth, advertising, what little advertising budget that we have. I prepare that as well. We produce an annual newsletter, which I've written. We're just coming to deadline now on the second newsletter, so we handle that. We just reformatted the whole annual report. We're starting a new website, which I've been involved with. So you can really get in the ground level and a lot of these types of things if you work for a nonprofit agency. And I've also had the great fortune of being the host of the agency's monthly TV cable show. It's a kind of an interview, a very loose format, but I can't imagine that you could get a job right out of school where you get that kind of experience right away. So I've been on the front side of the camera, which has really been a very, very interesting process for me. We have sometimes we have promotional giveaways. I get involved with that, and any piece of written communication. So if you like to write, community relations in a nonprofit setting can be terrific. So don't discount it. Keep your options open, and like they've been saying, network, network, network. It's so important. I got my job through career services here. I also did a couple of internships, which I highly recommend that you do. I had my job offer in just 2 months after I graduated, because it's a small world in Westchester, and I interned here, and the people where I got my job knew the people that I worked for at MasterCard and at the county in their public affairs office. So keep that in mind. That's the advice I give you, and good luck to everybody.
I was an undergrad. I did go to Co-op and Career Services. I landed a job at IBM, and I started as a graphic designer as an intern. It was a great internship. It was they were doing distance learning. It was the first step in this whole sort of web stuff, and I was right in there. And then I got a job on campus working for New Morning. Dana, I haven't seen you in a really long time. Dana was my editor-in-chief. I was a beat reporter for New Morning. After Dana graduated, and my RA. After Dana graduated, I became the editor-in-chief of New Morning. If you have an opportunity to work on the campus newspaper, or even volunteer to write for some, there's a lot of publications going around the university. There's Opportunitas, there's the Alumni Magazine. I used to work at the university in the University Relations Department. They're always looking for writers. It would be a volunteer assignment on your part, but you'd be building your portfolio. You'd have an opportunity to interview people, write stories, take photographs, do whatever, but there are a lot of opportunities on campus for you to begin to build your portfolio, and I would really recommend that you try to do whatever you can to do that. So after I graduated, I started working at Pace University in the University Relations Department, and I felt very fortunate because I was doing things in my field, in what I majored in. I started by licking envelopes, literally. I was stuffing press releases into envelopes, putting stamps on them, and putting them out the door. Over time, I got the opportunity to build a communications department at the university. We got to work on the Alumni Magazine, Opportunitas, the website, the intranet. So again, when you're working in a small shop, you have to wear a lot of different hats, and you get a lot of really good experience. From there, I went to the YWCA of the USA, another nonprofit, the national office, and I was the national director of internal communications. Spent some time there, and then I ultimately landed at Chase Manhattan Bank, where I work in the consumer part of the bank, and am currently responsible for employee communications, which includes really getting employees behind the business objectives. So whatever communications you're doing are designed to get people to move the organization forward, and you get to do fun things like websites and newsletters and messages from the big cheeses and all of that other good stuff. But communications right now is a really interesting, dynamic field, and I couldn't congratulate you more for being interested in it. I think you're going to find it to be a lot of fun, and I wish you all the best of luck. You're doing okay. You'll learn a whole heck of a lot about the industry. So take care.
It's clear to me from her demeanor. Steve Golub from Panasonic.
I got a new TV today, Panasonic. It has picture in picture in picture in picture. So now I can watch the Mets, the Yankees, the debates in the Middle East, and my stocks tanking simultaneously. Yes, I'm Steve Gollum. I'm a district sales manager for Panasonic's Broadcast and Television Systems Company, a leader in the video industry. After 23 years of thoroughly enjoying my job, I'm proud to say I am still excited to be working with Panasonic. My key responsibilities include developing and maintaining an established dealer network for digital products, developing key accounts and end-user markets while devising marketing plans and appropriate strategies for my territory. How's that sound? What do you need? You need a bachelor's degree, a video background, as well as several years of successful sales experience. So I guess a lot of you have are familiar with video and will be graduating, so the diploma is a given. That leaves some successful sales experience. Tonight we'll see what that entails and if it turns you on. By the way, I have in my head the name of a dealer in New York City, a block and a half east of Grand Central Station that is looking for a starting sales assistant. So see me later if you want to arrange an interview. From the moment I entered the sales field, I was lucky enough to be an instant success. Why? I guess it's due to the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Ever walk into a car showroom and find that you know more about the car than the so-called salesman does? It doesn't take long for one to realize that most salespeople just don't care about what they are selling. They care about the commission dollars but have no passion for the product itself. I once overheard a salesman say, "Today it's cars, tomorrow it could be computers. I could sell anything to anybody." I feel this type of salesperson will never really succeed. If any of you saw the movie Boiler Room, which depicts this type of securities salesperson, you know what I mean. It's unfortunate that many salespeople have taken such a short-term view when they can do so much more. I learned a few things over my 40 years in sales, and obviously I can't inject into you with 40 years of experience in one night, but I would. But amazingly enough, I feel I had the right ingredients right from the start, and you may too. What are these elements needed to be a successful sales professional? 3 important qualities come to mind. On this rainy night, each of you can save 40 years of time and see for yourself right now if you've got the right stuff to be a sales success. 1, product knowledge. There is no substitute for knowing what you are selling. Did you ever buy a cell phone or anything else from someone who couldn't tell you how to work it? Knowing the features and benefits, accessories, and many different applications the product can and cannot be used for is more critical than it's ever been. Add to that the fact that in today's complex and competitive business environment, the customers are better informed than ever, checking the web, consumer reports, etc. for all the info they can get. So beware, it won't be easy. And due to the increase in technology, the products are more feature-rich than ever and constantly changing and improving. So I think it's a head start if you're technically oriented. These details will come easier and you'll retain the information longer. Think you can fluff your way through it? Find another vocation. 2, enthusiasm. If you're not excited about it, why should the customer be? The customer is spending a lot of money for what you're selling. For instance, a nice video system might be from $20,000 to $40,000 today. He or she may not have that much money and might have to enter a long-term contract to pay a monthly payment over the next several years. In other words, lease the asset or finance the purchase. Now the customer gets to pay interest added on to the purchase price. Wow, that's really some commitment. So that system you're selling had better give them a lot of pleasure and satisfaction as well as enable them to make money if they're going to pay the monthly payment on a regular basis. What's more, you would expect them to return and commit to a newer, more up-to-date system several years from now. So beyond being the correct product for the client's application, you yourself have to be convinced about its features and get the positive, excited feeling across to your customer. How about telling a company's marketing director that the video they showed at their show booth last June that's been sitting in a drawer can easily be streaming on their website, and you know how to do it. If you can't get excited about that, find another profession. 3, honesty. You're going to be in this occupation you choose for a long time, maybe 40 to 50 years. So think long term. A quick sale to someone who doesn't really need the product, or worse, needs a different product that better suits their needs, won't bring them back and certainly won't help you develop a customer following. Repeat sales are the key to the business of selling. Think of complete solutions. They'll need batteries, a charger, and a case for that camcorder, won't they? Honesty takes many forms, so be honest with them up front. No one likes surprises that cost them money they didn't figure on and provide for. As you know, we are immersed in a world of advertising. One need only turn on the TV, radio, or look at a newspaper to see the millions of dollars spent on getting you to buy their product. Personally, I believe in the world's oldest form of advertising, word of mouth. If you succeed in earning your customers' trust, not only will they return, but they will send their friends, relatives, and business buddies to you, like Alan's networking. It's a great feeling when they call the dealership and ask for you by name. Why? Because they can trust you to give them exactly what they need, delivered quickly and at the right price. It sounds simple, but there's a lot of incompetence out there, and many salespeople don't adhere to the 3 most important basic principles I just mentioned. Anyone know what they are? Anyone remember? You got a nice gift here. You have to play the tape back. That's a Panasonic, isn't it? Let's assume you like video and want to dedicate your career to capturing the sights and sounds of life creatively onto some kind of media. Let me tell you, it beats a lot of jobs that are out there. I started my career as an accountant because I wanted to have a good business background. I became a CPA in New York State, and I'm proud to say I know what an asset and a liability are. But did it turn me on? No. So ask yourself now, does video motivate you? Try to get in touch with what really excites you. Dirty mind. What video career, whatever video career you choose, you'll need to know how to write a letter. The difference between T-H-E-R-E and T-H-E-I-R, or T-O-O and T-O and T-W-O is quite important. Even Y-O-U-R and Y-O-U''R-E are commonly misused. I see it on emails all the time. And after all, you're choosing to go into the world of communications, and expressing yourself properly, whether in writing or verbally, will be a necessity. And you've got to work fast and communicate in an efficient way. If you're good and they find you, your phone or email will be ringing off the hook. You should also be warned that you'll find yourself in a world of mega competition where one can never become lazy or complacent. The factories I represent feel the same way. Good thing, because if they didn't, we'd quickly lose our place as a video leader. Our newest 42-inch plasma screen just got a review in the September issue of Video Systems magazine that places it a year ahead of the competing plasma displays. You know, about just 2 years ago, we thought plasma screens were something used in a blood transfusion. So even your vocabulary will be changing. Today it's servers, not tape players, for video on demand. And robotic cameras have replaced cameramen wherever possible. Some say the business world is like an Alaskan dog sled pulled by a team of huskies. Remember, the view the dogs see never changes unless you're the lead dog. All the other dogs see the rear end of the dog in front of them. Can you visualize that? So pick a company that's a leader, not a follower. I hope I was able to get across to you tonight, not just my thoughts, but more importantly, some of my feelings. The bottom line is you are young, able, and in this great country of ours, you can choose any career you want. Really, I truly believe that because I lived it. If you choose sales, you'll always make a living, but nothing happens until the product is sold. In my company, they say everyone is in sales. And here's the bottom line. You'll succeed if you love what you are doing. If you'd rather be a ski instructor, hockey player, or social worker, please do that. But don't forget to give it your best. You won't regret it.
Stephen, thank you very much. Communications. Bell Atlantic, before they became Verizon, is the communications company. And I couldn't figure out for years, it would my pet peeve, you'd put a quarter in a Bell Atlantic telephone, and you'd hear a voice saying, "Thank you for making a Bell Atlantic phone call." I mean, that's a communicator. They picked the worst person in the world for that job. It makes you feel like Bell Atlantic is a low-class company. I just throw that in.
You get that gig, did you?
No, I didn't get that. Our next speaker, ladies.
There. Same with nonprofit groups. I started in the educational publishing business as a marketing director because I had some made-up experience that I got in the garment center. I wanted to write the great American novel. I knew that I always, was going to get rich and live in Paris and do those things, but I had to work. So I gave that dream up and I went to work in publishing. And I lost my first job in publishing because the company was acquired and they fired everybody in the company. So I went into business with the guy who used to own the company and ran a business. We used to publish Regents review books. So if you went to New York City schools, New York State schools, you took Regents. You probably have used one of the books that I've published over the last 30 years. What I do now is I produce books for other companies. I ran that business for about 4 years and sold it to Simon & Schuster. And I ran, in those days it was called their Educational and Reference Division. And we used to publish something called the Monarch Notes. You may not remember them, but they were the predecessor to the Cliff Notes. I don't see them around as much anymore. And Simon & Schuster was acquired by Gulf and Western, and I was fired again. So I went back into my own business, and I found that the people who were still at the company for whom I was working, we were still friends. They still wanted me to do books with them. So I did them basically as an independent contractor. And that's really what I am. I'm a book developer, a book producer. I'm the first one in the United States, actually, to do book production, not fancy coffee table books. I do, if you've ever taken the test, how to prepare for the SATs, the graduate record exam, the GMATs, the Regents exams, any test you've taken, I probably produced that book for one of the companies. And that's what I still do. About 4 years ago, I forgot, very important, my wife insisted that I tell you that she too is an alum of Pace.
My friend.
Yeah, and Maria's friend. She's a Pace Law School. And got distracted there. So about 4 years ago, my wife, who also comes out of publishing, and she had quit to go to school actually, to go to law school, we had decided to start to do a book about traveling with your pet, actually about 8 years ago, to do a book about traveling with your pets. And because we had a big dog, and there was no place to take our dog. And I put it aside, I forgot about it, and about 4 years ago, I said, you know, there's a market here, but not for a book, maybe for the internet. And I found somebody who was an internet web developer, who also came out of publishing. And what I liked about that is that we both come into the internet from a content base. We're not technology people. My partner went to NYU, I think he got a graduate degree in, can I say another school? Is that allowed? In the internet. He started when CD-ROMs were hot, and then they switched to the internet. And he also comes out of publishing. And over a period of 4 years, we've developed this website, which is petswelcome.com. We're the largest pet travel website on the net. Basically, it's hotels, motels, campgrounds, ski resorts, anything you want to do, you want to travel and take your pet with you. And that business, which it makes money, we don't get rich on it yet, we're still trying, but that takes up more of my time than does my book publishing. I've been doing that for 30-something years, and I can sort of do it this way. And I have, I don't know, 70 or 80 college professors and high school teachers who write for me, editors, production people, etc. And I am an entrepreneur, and I think that at some point you may find yourself in a position of wanting to go on your own. Obviously, you're not quite ready to do that unless you're independently wealthy. But since you're probably not, I would suggest that you start off at a business and learn it, whether it's one of their kinds of businesses, technology businesses. You know, one of the, I forgot who it was that I was talking about.
I went out and got some experience. I became an editor, I became a producer, I became a special effects director. And then I decided I wanted to slow my life down a bit. I got married and I had a daughter who was 6 months old. And I wasn't seeing her very much. I was working between 14 and 18 hours a day. So I decided to take advantage of a situation that arose and went back to my old stomping ground, where I've been there 11 years now. And it's been great. And I really, it's great. You've been listening to people who I would echo virtually everything they've said. You know, they beat me to the punch. I've got all these things.
This year I'm president of the Westchester chapter of the Association for Women in Communications, which also welcomes men. I brought some flyers about the student membership, and that along with some information about the library system, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. The Association for Women in Communications is a national group. They offer scholarships for students. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to network. I would say that a lot of the success that I have had in my position has been through this local chapter. And if you don't work in Westchester, there's a chapter in the city. They're all over the country. And I also have had the pleasure of having some wonderful interns from CASE. I've had them as interns, and 2 of them I actually hired after the internships. They worked with me for several years, and I would say that 2 of them were among the best assistants I ever had. So I commend your department and the enthusiasm of your students. I also want to just sort of echo what was said about nonprofits. You may not make as much money, in fact you won't, but you may have a little more flexibility, and certainly initially, and I think even as you get up, you'll have a lot of different opportunities to advance your skills. So I want to wish all of you lots of good luck. I have material if you want to talk to me, if you're interested in an internship or anything, please give me a call.
This scared me the first time I read this. The founder of Success magazine, W. Clement Stone, once said that a person does not truly achieve maturity until they realize once and for all that no one is coming to the rescue. You are all alone. You must take responsibility for your own careers and your own life. Okay, with that happy news, our next speaker is Erica Stanzak from IBM.
Oh my God. Okay, in all seriousness, I graduated in actually September, working with IBM Research, which Dr. Luskay got for me. She got a call from a former alum and who needed a activities coordinator. So I wanted it and I said, come on. Yeah, I was down on my hands and knees. And I've been there since April, and it's a great place to work. It's awesome. I thought that it was just going to be like a bunch of engineers and nerds and stuff like this, but it wasn't at all. I thought it was, but it wasn't at all. It was amazing. And they have like a lot of other, they have a lot of other departments. Like they have communications, they have PR, they have marketing and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get in there right now because my assignment is only temporary. But one thing that I've learned there is that I thought, like when I graduated, I thought that I wanted to go into PR. And I still like that aspect of communications, but it's a really broad field. And what I learned there was that you can go anywhere. Like you don't have to, like you graduate and you want to go for, okay, say you want to go for PR. It's like, you might want to, you might get out there, you might like it, you might not, but it's like take
It's my communication strategy.
Take advantage of any opportunities you're given. So that's really it, okay?
An old Quaker man told me once that there's a Quaker proverb which says, I'm thinking of what you just said, proceed as the way opens. Certain openings happen in life. She was offered a job here, and then if she didn't take it, the opening might close up again and might not open up again somewhere else for another week, another year, another decade. But you'd go through that opening when it opens. You can always go back. You're not related to it, but you proceed as the way opens. Mark.
I'm going to be designated as a landmark in the upcoming weeks. Well, I want to first thank Michelle Pulaski for inviting me here, and I want to let you know that Michelle was an instructor of mine at the University of Connecticut, and she is actually the reason why I became a communications major. I had her for technology and mass communications, Comms 135, and I had such a blast. I never thought that I could study magazines and music videos and actually get graded for it, do research on it. My whole life I've loved media, I've loved music, I still do, and I found out that that can be a career and that knowledge can be put to use. So I graduated from the University of Connecticut this past May with a BA in Communication Sciences. I'm 21. And I got my job at New York Life actually through a former coworker of mine who knew someone in the department. And I want to reiterate the point that I've heard a little bit, but about really going through networks, asking people you know, whether you're looking for an apartment or a job or anything, ask family members, ask friends of family, professors. I mean, that's really the way that people are going to recognize you. Think about if you were an employer and you had to hire somebody. I mean, that's a huge liability. That's a lot of trust to put into somebody. That's a lot of time to train them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being hired because you knew somebody. I think that's the way a lot of people get their dream jobs.
So at New York Life, I started there July 5th, which was about 3.5 months ago. I'm an associate trainee, which is not on my business card, but that's my official title. I'm going to be an associate trainee for 2 years. It's a program where every 6 months I get an evaluation and a promotion. And I'm in the media relations unit of their corporate communications department at New York Life. Media relations, well, let me start with New York Life. It was founded in 1845. It's international. Forbes magazine, about 2 weeks ago, ranked it as the 3rd most admired global company in the life health insurance industry. It's the 5th largest in the US in terms of market share and sales. Ranks 27th in best benefits by Money Magazine in September. And it's one of the top 100 companies for working mothers. And for working mothers, as rated in Working Mother Magazine in September. So that's my pitch for New York Life. It is a good place to work, definitely. As Fred was saying, and some other people have said too, about how every company has communications. I never thought I would be at an insurance company. I'll be very honest with you. You know, I thought maybe publishing, music, you know, just something more kind of glamorous and artistic. And let me tell you that whatever you might be interested in communications, there is going to be something in just about every company and corporation that entails public relations and work in media. So corporate communications includes corporate responsibility, advertising, internal communications, international communications, photography, the creation of newsletters, video production, training videos, brand management, reputation management, graphic design, and media relations includes the Good News campaign, which I'm part of, crisis management, and international communication. So a description of what I do is my responsibilities include monitoring news media, which is competitor monitoring and industry trends. I actually put this together every day. It's the New York Life and Industry News, and this is for Wednesday, October 18th. It's news clips I get from Dow Jones Interactive, Financial Net News. I read the Wall Street Journal now every day. Never thought I'd be doing that, but I actually enjoy it now. And I collect news clips about different issues, things that are kind of hot topics in insurance and financial industries right now. The repeal of the estate tax, long-term care insurance versus Social Security, what else? Slavery reparations and insurance policies, things like that. So I compile the morning news clips. They're distributed to the Executive Management Council, which are senior management, and to PR agencies worldwide, Beijing, Indonesia, Mexico, Hong Kong, Korea. I write press releases and news releases about different topics, things from the agency, new product launches, things like that. I write pitch letters to try to get stories placed in publication, and then we eventually track those stories and they end up in here. I attend interviews and conference calls. I meet with executives, with my manager to find out about new customer or employee programs, and to support projects with our outside PR council as well. And with them, we execute our media relations strategy. I would also like to point out that internships are very important, not just for getting a job at your internship, but just to get real experience about what it's like to work every day. You know, whether it be getting into a routine or, you know, getting comfortable with using fax machines. I mean, all that stuff, it sounds like, you know, you might take it for granted, but it's all very important and impressive to your future employer. I also worked at UConn's communications office, and I worked at the campus radio station. I was a DJ for 4 years, and I love college radio. And I also worked at a graphic design company. I would say useful skills in my job, as well as pretty much every communications job, would be enthusiasm, clear and coherent professional expression, to be service-oriented, to be able to support coworkers and departments with their corporate goals, and also to have strong strength of interaction with others. So that's basically what I do. I brought a whole bunch of press kits, which has my business card. It has our most recent annual report with another nice shot of the gold dome, which we like to show off. And that's basically what I've been doing for 3.5 months, and hopefully for some years to come.
Marcia Chinsky, thank you very much.
Can I start over?
I hope you're all writing down all these Chinese fortune cookies. It's wonderful insights I'm giving you tonight, because you'll be quizzed in 30 days. Now, our next speaker is from the Hertz Corporation. And she has told me that everyone who is here tonight will get a free upgrade the next time you rent a car. Just mention her name, Lauren Garvey.
Not true. The one thing, listening to what everyone's saying, that I think is really important for you to know is the word flexibility. And I'm just going to tell you a story of, I'm a PACE alumni. I now teach here. And I was a marketing major. I was a lit-com minor. And all of my friends were accounting majors, etc. And I thought it would be a piece of cake to get a job. So I went to California for 2 months with my friends. And my parents, you know, were freaking. You know, when are you going to look for a job? And I said, oh, it's not going to be a problem. So I really didn't want to work in the city. I really figured, I grew up in Bergen County, New Jersey, and I figured I could find a job there. There were lots of corporations. So I guess it was December, and I still didn't have a job. And I was very depressed, obviously. And I had written a lot of cover letters to recruiters. I spent hours and hours in the library finding people. I wanted to go into PR. And I realized that because I had an adjunct professor at PACE. It was an elective, and it was after I took her class. I realized that that's what I wanted to do. So I got a call from a recruiter who placed candidates $100,000 and over. Obviously, he was not going to help me. You know, I was 21 years old. I had no experience. The reason he called me was because he was so impressed with my letter, just the writing. But what he told me was, you know, you college graduates, you're not flexible. And he said, if you want to get into PR, you need to go to Manhattan, and you're probably going to have to start as a secretary. And I was on the phone, and I thought to myself, okay, I have a 4-year degree. I'm not going to sit there and type and be a secretary for someone. So, you know, I kind of discounted what he said. And, you know, I started going on interviews in the city, and my first interview was at Gray Advertising. And they offered me $12,000. And
That's how much it costs to go to PACE for a year.
Then. I was appalled. I had a college loan. I said I would be commuting. And, you know, his response was, well, you know, there's 10 or 15 other people that want this job. Thank you very much. So, you know, I'm driving home in tears, thinking that and this was a secretarial position, and I had a 4-year college degree. So finally, you know, I kept hearing this guy's voice over and over in my head, you have to be flexible, you have to be flexible. So I guess I went on a couple more interviews. I finally went to an agency called Wellsridge Green, which is actually no longer. Mary Wells, she was very famous. She was the first woman to really start an ad agency, and she started it, and I started as a secretary. I was making, I think, $18,000. And you know, it was very, I would say humiliating. It was, you know, it was a real lesson in humility, because here I had a 4-year degree, I had an internship in PR, and I had good grades. My difficulty was that I did not major in journalism. And 10 years ago, PR was not as big a field as it is now, but that's what I wanted to do. From when I took this class, I was determined to get into PR, and I didn't care what I had to do to get it. And I started on the advertising side. You know, I was typing, answering phones, doing very menial work. And what basically happened was there was a woman who was on the ad side for 15 years. She just had the baby. She happened to be Mary Wells' daughter-in-law, you know, the founder of the agency. And I heard about her, that she was going to start this corporate communications department. And the agency never had one before. And, you know, I just decided, well, let me just introduce myself. It's not going to hurt, she's probably interviewing people. She did not have a PR background herself. She was basically asked because the chairman asked her to. And it's part of why I teach. I'm one of those people that got lucky. I did not have a journalism background. I knew that I could write. I knew that I wanted to do PR. And I started teaching at PACE for that reason, because PACE is the reason why I do what I do and what I love what I do. And, I'm now the director of PR for Hertz, and I'm responsible for all the PR for North America. We don't use any agencies. So, I'm not just proud of what I accomplished, but the reason I accomplished what I did, I owe to PACE. Because if it wasn't for this professor, and if it just wasn't for, the internship to help me, Professor Klager helped me a great deal, because I wanted to minor in Lit Com thinking that would help me, because I really had a business major. So my biggest advice is, when you graduate, you want to get this great job, you want to make $30,000, $40,000, and all I'm saying is just be realistic, and as long as you have your goal in mind, just keep working towards it, because quite honestly, starting as a secretary wasn't that bad, because I knew nothing about the agency. I knew nothing about the corporate world, and what it enabled me to do is it did help me advance quickly, but had I gone in just as assistant AE or something like that, I don't know that I would have done as well, because I really didn't know anything about, advertising itself or PR, etc. So my only advice is, be realistic, just stick to your goals. If you stick to them, and, don't give up. I was in this position for like a year and a half, and I was ready to quit, and all of a sudden this woman came along, and again, she just liked me, so she decided to take a chance. So just be realistic and flexible. Paula Stifter, yeah. I just want to introduce Paula Stifter. She works for me at Hertz.
Yes, after 4 years of college, I cut clips and I pasted them down. And it was a very rewarding experience, and it helped me further my career, because I didn't say, well, I was the coordinator and this is what I did as the coordinator. I said I was the coordinator, but we were a small company and this is what I did. And that helped me kind of further myself along as an individual. The other thing that Professor Garvey did speak about is be flexible. I have spent my entire career in the travel industry. I have not done when people think of the travel industries, they think of the front desk, whatnot. I've been behind the scenes in the corporate office, either doing sales or PR for agencies and now PR for Hertz. I really think flexibility is a key. You may have ultimate goals, hat in 2 ways to get to my ultimate goals. And how do I go about doing this? And sometimes the most unique ideas are not necessarily mainstream. Another little just tip of advice, someone had mentioned, one of the speakers had mentioned, they are a member of the, I just call it the AWC, the Association of Women Communicators. If you're IABC, the International Association of Business Communicators, wonderful websites, wonderful job postings. So use, in addition to the resources the college may give you, use those resources as well. Use as many as you can possibly get. Good luck with everything. Thank you.
Next speaker is Dana Kovacic. Dana, step up here.
Hello, everybody. I know it's been quite a while. You've all been standing, so I'll keep it brief, and based on what everybody else has said, just touch on a few things. My name is Dana Kovacic, and I am the Internet Media Director for Active Media Services. I'm also an adjunct and an alum of PACE. So spent quite a bit of time here, and am continuing to, and I'm very excited about that. My job right now entails, I'm more on the media side than on the traditional writing communications end of the business. I deal in internet media. I started in local radio and television. I started at Active. I was very lucky and happened upon my job. But within about a year and a half to 2 years, I was in a position, along with Carol Dockery's help, to hire at least a half a dozen PACE University alum for assistant positions in my company. So contacts are contracts, and that is a great opportunity. Use the people you know to the best advantage that you can. They will be more than willing, most of them, to help. Lauren Garvey, I didn't have a job for a little while and became very frustrated about it. Could not believe that I couldn't land myself a job after being at Pace University for 4 years. However, I was very envious of my friends who had graduated from the Lubin School and were accountants and, at banks and brokers and on the marketing side, very, very envious of their positions, their jobs. They were already out there doing it. However, most of them are still doing exactly what they started doing 10 years ago. I am not. And the opportunities that have come across my desk in just the 6 years I've been with my company, which I've decided to stay at my company because I have moved pretty quickly and have been given opportunities internally. But the opportunities that have presented themselves to me in the industry in general are absolutely incredible. And I happen to have, I think, ended up in a good place at the right time and got myself into the internet industry, which has created a brand new focus for communications, for marketing, for sales, for pretty much everything. So don't be limited in terms of what you're looking for, or the very high-profile accounts. And it's fun, it's exciting, it's ever-evolving, and you have to enjoy what you do. And in communications, you can get in, get yourself a job. They're going to teach you what they want you to know. You'll learn, you grow, you move. And eventually you find the thing that you love to do every day. That's it.
I'm an editor at iWon.com, and what I do is I manage mostly the iWon Today section of the site, which is the daily fun page. Everything from romantic tips, romantic quotes, your sports tip, you name it, we've got it. It's like your lifestyle section of the newspaper. And so whenever the content comes in, I have to edit it, see if I want to put it on the site. Sometimes I don't put it up, because if something goes up,
You're a Pace alum?
I'm a Pace alum. Also, I'm in charge of doing banner ads for iWon. If a new section of the site comes up, then they're going to call upon me to write a banner ad. They also have me write content emails to also advertise new sections of the site to our users, and also to drive them back to the site, because the more hits we get, the more money we make, and the more money we can give out. And one thing I would like to say, just a little tip for all of you when you're putting your resumes together, is that before I worked at iWon, I worked at Priceline.com. And
Good, my barbecue for me.
and when I went to apply to Priceline, I decided that my resume wasn't that, it didn't have that much stuff in it. I mean, I did a couple internships, but I wanted to really highlight my writing talent. So I took a corporate video class with Dr. Liskay, and in that class I wrote a script for the Pleasantville Cottage School. And so I highlighted that in the resume, and I didn't hide it. I didn't put it under special activities. I put it right up in the main section, kind of like a service learning project as a job. And Priceline hired me as a junior copywriter, and I was there for about 2 months. And all of a sudden they decided that they needed a corporate video because they were launching a new section of the site, and they wanted to promote it to investors, try to get new people to invest, because that's how internet is going to make most of its money. And we had a whole editorial team, and there were a lot of, be proud of everything that you accomplish at Pace, because it's going to help you later on. And that's it.
We have had so many people here. Have I forgotten anyone? Did I forget anyone? If I did, please come forward now. I won't be embarrassed. I cannot tell you how lucky you have been tonight to hear from these speakers. I thank them very, very, very much for coming all the way to speak with you. We have refreshments in the other room. I invite you to stay and network. They have a lot of handouts for you. I invite you to speak to them. This is the time to do it, especially if you are looking to work in this industry, because that's what we're here to promote. So thank you very, very much for coming, and thank you to our speakers for being here.